It's the Laugh Smartly Show. Yes, again. Biff Lucky and Mr. Fun are ready. Supposedly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Laugh Smartly with your host, Biff Lucky and Mr. Fun. Good to see you guys. Let me start right at the get. Have you guys had weather where you are that is just like torrential thunderstorms and rain?
It turned dark. It went from a regular 6:30 p.m. bright, sun setting to completely dark for an hour here in the mainland, Howard County, Maryland. And then it turned light again around 8:30.
It's yesterday. It was incredible that people started talking about a storm, and we were in Bethany Beach, and then we were heading back over to Sea Colony. Storm came through. It came in quick. It must have been blowing 65 miles an hour. And for those that are familiar with one restaurant on Route 26 in Bethany Beach or Ocean View, wherever it is, called Cafe on 26, they have the largest oak tree around. That thing got just blown over last night.
Oh, man.
It took a huge tree down. And I just don't remember this many tornadic, I think that's the right word, storms.
What?
Tornadic, nice. Not torn in an attic.
Right,
tornadic,
but same thing.
Tornado. But I don't remember so many storms. And then these torrential rains, like last week in Bridgeville, Delaware, which is a place you drive through on the way to the beach for many people coming from D.C., at 4.5 inches in an hour. That's a lot of rain in 1 hour. 4.5 inches.
Does it feel like we're living in the Midwest with all our tornadic activity?
It has that sense, a little bit of that, but it's stay safe out there. I guess that's my warning to everybody when the warnings come through. But it is something. So, anyways, Rockfish let us in again with Mrs. Fun leading us into the show. I know, Lucky, you had some comms with Rockfish this week. What was on his mind?
Well, Rockfish is, of course, avid listeners to Mrs. Rockfish. He wanted to give us a little bit of info on the Neilsen ratings. We talked about it last week vis-a-vis the World Cup, and basically how Neilsen tracks public viewing. And they use these wearable portable people meters so that they can pick up like things, broadcasts and activity in bars. So people are wearing these devices, and the signals that are broadcast from the networks have special hidden basically elements that these wearable devices pick up. So that's basically how they gauge how many people are in bars, how many people are watching at home, etc.
So there's spies in the bars.
Apparently,
for lack of a better term, right?
People using these portable people meters, PPMs, they call it. So
PPMs.
Okay, well that's news. I never knew that. Neil, you were a Neilsen family, weren't you, Lucky?
We thought about doing it. I think we did it for a short period of time.
Right.
We tried to sign us all up to maximize what kind of monthly payment we would get.
Right.
I think Mrs. Lucky was the only one that sort of did it for a couple months and then bailed out of it. That was like 4 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
What else did he have on his mind?
And he also wanted us to know that he is an avid bourbon collector, but he was noting that this big trend for tequila collecting is now popular. And I think, people are starting to get past the challenges of the Jose Cuervo back in the day, or the, drinking out of the plastic bottle that used to make you, swear off tequila for the rest of your life. With all the advent, with all these new tequilas that are out there now, people aren't making that mistake and they're actually enjoying tequila. So, he wanted us to know that, El Tesoro, Codagas, Ocho, and G4 are some of his favorites. So, for those of you who are, tequila fans.
Do you guys like tequilas?
I do.
I can't say that I've drank a lot of tequila in my life. I know it's very trendy now, but back in the day, it was disgusting and you only drank it to black out.
Yeah, well, you drank it after 6 beers. That was the one problem, right? You drank it at the end of the night as opposed to the beginning of the night.
I wouldn't be opposed to re-examining that.
I think sipping tequila is really good. Like tequilas that you get that are high end, get it chilled, right? And then you sip on it. You can have a lime with it or not, whatever the case may be. I think they're very good. And if you get the dark ones like Añejo or Reposado, they almost taste like whiskeys or bourbons in some respects, right? Because they've got a bit of a smoky taste to them, which are really good. So I'm a big fan of tequila.
Did you guys see that a few days ago? Dr. Fauci got arrested for stealing alcohol from a liquor store. He kept taking the fifth.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is that your joke of the week, Mr. Fun? Do we just get that one?
No,
as
my
the
joke of the week.
Okay.
With the joke of the week, we're going to talk about it a lot, over a little bit about our fishing trip. And I couldn't help but think to myself, there were three very frequent listeners to our show, Duda, Slab, and Droopy. What do those guys all have in common? No, really, they're bigger people, right? I mean, they're
Muscular.
Yeah. We'll call them muscular. They're pretty robust guys.
They get the husky animals.
Yeah. And, right. And looking around the alumni barbecue, I was thinking to myself that if those three guys were the first guys in the Garden of Eden, there would never be an Eve, because even God could not get a rib from any of those guys.
Jeez.
They were consuming a lot of barbecue.
Yeah.
You mentioned the fishing tournament. So we do this, we fish for flounder on the Bayside. The last 3 or 4 years, we've caught so few fish. There's 30 dudes, with lines in the water for 3-4 hours. We've been catching 3 or 4 fish total. Right. This year was a good catch.
Yeah. I didn't catch anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Caught one.
I didn't catch one. So, speaking of fishing, so White Marlin's coming up. Our friends at Tackle Up. I'm wearing a Tackle Up shirt. I think people can see it now. They are preparing for that. I think the boat, the Smoker, is what they are tied to. But White Marlin, largest bill fishing tournament in the world. You should wear your Tackle Up gear to the White Marlin Open, which is again that the weighing place is off 14th Street in Ocean City by the Real Inn. But go to tackleupbb.com or visit the store at 100 Garfield Parkway in Bethany Beach and get your Tackle Up gear. It's good looking stuff. Fits in with the White Marlin Open. Again, if you go online, tackleupbb.com, you get 15% off if you type in laugh 15. So again, a reminder to support our sponsor there.
Few sort of major changes to the tournament this year.
Okay.
The tournament's now 6 days, and the boats decide which 3 they're going to fish. So they're doing this. They're adding a 6th day. It used to be just 3 out of 5. Mm-hmm. But they added an additional day Saturday, so that they can sort of manage around offshore weather, which is pretty cool. And 6 days of the tournament actually probably generates more revenue for, Ocean City and all the bars and restaurants that support, the event or whatever, which is pretty cool. But,
you guys know you guys know how Chinese fishermen would weigh an orca? They bring it to the scales in the whaleway station.
Okay. They also have a non-sonar division for boats not equipped with omnidirectional sonar.
Okay.
So, and then there's a new BFD optional jackpot category, Big Fish Daily.
Yeah, nice play on the words. Right.
What's that?
I said nice play on BFD.
Yeah,
right.
BFD.
Okay.
But Harborside Marina down on 14th Street Bayside is a great place to watch all the fishermen come in with their big fish. So looking forward to that next week.
Good. Well, as we will be down there at some point. I do wonder about that 3 out of 6 day thing, if it takes some of the shine off the weigh-ins, right? Because that's, it's now spread across a number of days, is that they can't go out for 6 days. They can only go out for 3 days. And what the bigger boats do. It's going to be an interesting strategy. Hopefully it doesn't. It was always Friday afternoon was the big day for the weigh-in.
Yeah. The last day, right?
Right. Where the several $1 million fish are typically brought in. So you wonder if that will still be the case.
Yeah. I think the anticipation of having an extra day, it'll be, if there's no weather during the week, it'll be interesting because I'm assuming that they would spread themselves out naturally over the 6 days, as opposed to, because, they may just choose to, change it up a little bit and go out on odd days or whatever. But if there's weather, nobody's going out on those days and everybody's concentrated in what the remaining days.
I mean, you're right, though. I'm sure beyond anything else, they will make more money doing it, right? They sell merchandise, they sell other things. So, more power to them if they're successful in that. Last week we talked about, our friend Pete S. out in the Bay Area. And this is this issue that he said something to his kids and they didn't understand what he was talking about. He was referencing Daisy Dukes. And so we explained it to those that don't know that are listening to us. That was from the TV show, The Dukes of Hazzard, right? And they were short shorts worn by, was she named Daisy? Not to be silly.
Yeah.
Barbara Bach's character. And they were short Levi shorts. So those were Daisy Dukes.
Did you ever wear Daisy Dukes?
I did not.
Okay.
You didn't wear cutoff jean shorts ever, Biff?
I did. Yeah, I did. Again, I think I said this at one point. A real man will never wear shorts where the pockets are hanging below the cutoff on the shorts.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So that I think that gets me out of the Daisy Dukes category.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was actually really struggling a little bit to think of something where my kids had heard something from me and they didn't understand it. I'm sure it's happened. I just couldn't think of anything. But interestingly, I was playing golf last week and I was walking to play 18 holes. Another guy was walking to play 18 holes. And then the assistant pro, who's a young kid, Kyle C., who's the assistant pro at Cripple Creek Country Club, was in the golf cart. And he's got another guy he's playing with in the golf cart. But Kyle is driving, and there's a long ride between one of the fairways to the green. And Bob, funnily, as a joke, put out his thumb like he was hitchhiking. Right. He did the hitchhiking symbol. Kyle goes flying by him and gives him the thumbs up back. He had no idea what a hitchhiking thumb was. Now, is that, I gotta imagine that's true for most young people. Nobody hitchhikes anymore.
Yeah,
do they?
They're all afraid.
What? Yeah, why are they afraid? I had this conversation with Ann G tonight from Potomac. We have this discussion about, she used to hitchhike. I go, why do people not hitchhike? Is it any less safe? And she goes, no, it's the same. It's just people think it's less safe. And frankly, she goes, and they have cell phones. Most hitchhikers. And Uber. So if they're going to get in trouble, you're going to be able to call, right? So it was an interesting discussion about hitchhiking.
I got one.
No, I think I tend to think that the abduction level has gone up compared to when we were kids.
I just think we see it more. We got the news, we got the internet. Yeah. How about this one? You sound like a broken record.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had to even think about what a broken record sound like. But yeah, no young people know you sound like a broken record. That's a good one.
That is.
And a true story, when my kids were little, I said, hey, grab a magic marker out of your mom's pocketbook. And they looked at me like I was speaking Portuguese. They had no idea what a pocketbook was or a magic marker. And I remember my middle daughter going, what makes it magic, Dad? Ooh, the magic marker. Because it's now Sharpie and purse, apparently. But I still say, grab your mom's pocketbook, and everybody laughs at me. So those are
So has Sharpie has become the word that generically means magic marker or marker, right? To your point. Like Kleenex is the word for tissue, whether it's a Kleenex brand or not.
And Frisbee is the plastic discs we throw. Yeah.
That's right.
It's crazy. Crazy. You got any, Lucky? Did you think of any?
I was thinking somebody asking a phone number, you say, call the operator. That doesn't even exist anymore.
Or I'll give you a ring. Or here, what was call waiting? Did you get call waiting?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all gone. Or busy signal. Did you get a busy signal? Right? There's no busy signal.
Now the busy signal means the phones aren't working.
Yeah, I think so.
What other feedback you get from last week's show?
Quite a few people had comments on the 24-18-12-6 challenge. If you guys remember, it was you had to assign those 4 numbers to 4 tasks. One of them was eating donuts. One of them was drinking beers, walking or running miles, and the other one was, and we changed this to make love for Biff's benefit. But most people were choosing 6 for the make love or pleasure yourself, if you want to use that. But there were a few people that thought they could make love like 12 times in a day. And everybody called BS on that. So we sampled the fishing population at the fishing tournament that we had. And, most people landed on 6. A little bit of controversy on how many beers or how many miles you walked.
So Rob G from Severna Park, a longtime listener and fan, calls me out of the blue. He goes, there's no way you would run 18 miles. I go, you didn't have to run the 18 miles because I kind of inverted it. I would have 12 beers and run 18 miles and then 24 donuts. And I'm like, he caught me off guard. So I'm thinking about it. I'm getting defensive. I hang up with him. I call him back. I go, I absolutely could go 18 miles in a day, 24 hours. I could drink a beer every 12 miles or one beer for 12 miles and walk, in that far. And so, you could debate the 12 or 18 or the 24. You can't debate Mr. Fun when he said he was going to, have sex 24 times.
Can't debate it. Can't debate it.
What did you say?
Can't debate it.
You can't debate it because that can't be done.
Speaking of sex, when my wife and I were young and friskier, she used to punch me in the face every time I orgasmed. I wasn't mad until I realized she had been faking them all and just punching me in the face.
Nice.
The thing we didn't talk about was that if you're going to attempt to do the 24, 18, 12, 6 challenge, you need to have your mate with you, most probably. And doing it too, because you're going to have to, while you're walking, maybe take a break, get some action, keep walking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's right.
So it's a pair.
Get her to drink the 18 beers with you.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Good. So anyway, a lot of commentary on that. And just a plug also for Abby Shorter. She's playing with All the Vibes. She's one of our friends' daughters. She played at Harpoon Hannah's last weekend, but she's playing at the Jolly Jellyfish on 98th Street on August 4th and Coconuts on 37th Street on August 16th. So make sure you catch her there. She's awesome. All the Vibes is a duet that she's part of. Really entertaining. She's hitting a lot of the Ocean City scene pretty hard. Some Delaware stuff as well. Yep. I have a summer cold, by the way, guys. So just so you know, I got a little bit of a cough, but don't worry, I'll make it. Okay. So nobody.
Good. We weren't worried.
Okay. Some national days this week. It's National Girlfriends Day. So Mr. Fun, if you feel inclined, I think it's okay on National Girlfriend Day to maybe have some communication with your ex-girlfriends. If you choose to. Okay. It might be the only day you're allowed to do that. It is also, Saturday is International Child Free Day and also Emancipation Day in the Caribbean. So
okay.
I saw these national days. I'm like, emancipation, like being free from all the burdens of your children, and also International Child Free Day. I thought it was funny. But 1981 also on August 1st is when MTV launched.
Oh, well, yeah. What's the first song? We've talked about this.
A Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yeah. Name the group.
I don't know.
The Buggles.
When I was a child, I thought my dad was a superhero. He was the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I have a funny joke, and it's not appropriate at all, especially in my world. But how do you know when your girlfriend's gaining weight? When she fits into your wife's clothes?
I heard that.
Sorry.
I heard that one before.
Sorry.
Sunday is National Ice Cream Sandwich Day, which is
my favorite sandwich of all time.
That's a great ice cream use of ice cream. What do you think the goat ice cream sandwich is?
It's the traditional one. It's got to be the rectangular one with the chocolate on either side. It's the original, right?
You mean like the wafer?
It's the rectangular one, right? It's 3 or 4 inches long and has the soft chocolate outside, with vanilla on the inside.
Always gets on your fingers.
That's got to be the goat. It's got to be the best.
Nah, see, when I used to think that was the best ice cream sandwich, the one you get for like 15 cents in school.
Yeah, right.
Is Chipwich that counts?
100%. When the Chipwich came about, chocolate chip cookies and ice cream in the middle, that blew the regular ice cream sandwich out of the water.
I got a friend who wants to put ice cream in a giant size Chinese fortune cookie with an edible fortune inside, a chocolate bar fortune.
Okay.
And you think that'll work? Is that a good idea?
Don't know. I don't know how the fortune cookie tastes relative to the ice cream. That's just that's what he's got to figure it out. But it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, let's go.
Big excitement in the Lucky House. We have a new ice cream store in my neighborhood here in Howard County, Maryland. And they have a litany of non-dairy free ice cream.
Oh.
Oat milk, use oat milk to make the ice cream. They have a mint chocolate chip. they have an Oreo, and then they have some raspberry truffle ice cream. So I'm like, has me written all over it.
Yeah. How many times have you been there, or just opened?
We're going tomorrow night for the first time.
Nice. Big night out. Big night out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So the National Sister Day. Make sure you say a shout out to your sisters if you have one on Sunday. Friendship
Is that sister
Day
with a A at the end, like sister.
No, sisters.
Okay, got it. Just want to make sure I know who I'm shouting out.
National Psychic Day. When's the last time you, Biff? I mean, I know you're into witches.
Wait, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
yes.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not in a National Psychic Day. I will say that. Maybe one witch or a Wiccan thing a year is enough for us. Don't need a psychic deck.
I went into a psychic the other day. She was like, "I've been expecting you."
Yeah, that's what are we, Abbott and Costello? I mean, those are
first base.
This one happened earlier in the week. I thought it'd be interesting. I love this event, and it's something that's on my bucket list. Just like running with the bulls in Pamplona, which we talked about I think a couple weeks ago. But the Chincoteague Pony Swim was culminated this past week, and I don't know. Has either of you guys ever went to this event like in person?
I've never been to Chincoteague, so that would be the first hurdle is to go to Chincoteague, Virginia. I've not.
But that's it's like you living in Washington, D.C. and not going to the monuments. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? So
the ponies little.
They're I think, not like thoroughbred racing.
I think they're adult. They're adult horses. I don't think they're right. I don't think they're tiny though.
But they're not.
Why do they call them ponies?
Because they're young.
Yeah, I mean, really? A pony could probably. We should look that up. It could probably be, a year old. Right. And it's probably pretty full size at that point in time.
There's a lot of history there. I remember looking into it. Like they all come from the same group of horses that got
Spanish, right? Galleons?
Washed ashore or something. I don't
Spain.
know it all.
So,
it brings back a memory. When I was a kid, I saw this midget riding a Shetland pony, and they were both smoking weed. And I went up and I said, "Get off your high horse," to the midget.
High horse. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a little known fact. So the swim gets all the attention of this event, but it's actually a week long set of activities. Like the Saturday and Sunday before, they do they round up the herds on each day, south side of the island, north side. They walk them on the beach on Monday. They do vet checks on a Tuesday. They do the swim on Wednesday, and then they do the auction on Thursday. And then whoever is not sold or or basically they all go back to the island after that. So
how many are there? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I don't know.
100?
Yeah, I think it's in that range. Maybe a little less.
When I've seen the ads on or the promos on TV about it, it's dozens and dozens and dozens. However that many is, it's many more than you think.
Really?
And so they use it, they auction it, and then the ones that don't get auctioned or purchased swim back. Is that what it is?
I think, to be honest with you, I think they all go back. I think it's just like a fundraiser for the fire department. I don't know if anybody takes a wild pony home with them, but I have to look into that.
Okay, good.
I would like one. Find out if they have one. I would like to purchase one.
All right. In other competitions, 3 women recently set the world record at the annual Lumberjack World Championship in Wisconsin. We had talked about it a few weeks ago, like, what's the deal with Paul Bunyan? Is he, popular? Does anybody have them in pop culture or him in pop culture? But I think in Hayward, Wisconsin, they probably all have like Paul Bunyan t-shirts on and are, think of him as like the god of all gods when it comes to lumberjacking. But these women set world records in these different competitions. The women's underhand chop, and also they set the world record in the women's boom run, which is that one where they got to run on the logs that are in the water, sprinting across the water and back over 8 red cedar logs. She did it in like 13 seconds. Anyway, I thought it was cool that I think the female version of the Paul Bunyan is alive and well in Wisconsin.
Does the thought of female lumberjacks give you morning wood?
Morning wood. That's pretty good.
So have you watched? I have watched some of the lumberjack stuff.
Female?
The men,
Yeah.
lumberjack contest, and you think of these, there's American sports that call themselves world sports, right? They just do. And you think, honestly, I think of lumberjacks, I think of people in the U.S. and Canada, right?
I think Australia too, or there's like.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that
yeah.
the international championships have Australians, they have people from Germany, Sweden, right? Mountainous areas, a lot of them, which was interesting to see. And the Americans aren't necessarily the best. And the overall champion was a international star of some sort. I think he was from Australia or New Zealand. So they're definitely have skills and they've definitely got to be in shape to do what they do. And it's fun to watch from time to time.
Well, Karolina Urbanova is from the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And then Stephanie Nald of Canada, she broke the underhand record.
She has a OnlyFans site, but it's really hard to log in.
Okay,
that's good.
I would like to see that. I would pay money to watch that event.
Okay,
on OnlyFans.
Well, and definitely on OnlyFans, of course. I would use Mr. Fun's account. But
she wears Daisy Dukes.
Daisy Dukes, that's right.
Speaking of Midwest, the world's tallest nutcracker was basically awarded this week. Are you guys big nutcracker fans?
Is this the thing that has the handle on the back that you crack walnuts with?
Yeah.
Okay. What a normal one is, I don't know, a foot tall, 18 inches tall. How tall is this one, Mark?
65 feet, 7.5 inches.
65 feet.
Why?
Wow.
Why, you ask?
Yes.
Because the Chamber of Commerce put their heads together and they're like, we need something that's going to attract people to our town. So they raised money to build this nutcracker. It costs about $600K to build this guy.
So
I thought my wife thought that I had nutcrackers in the garden, but I thought that was a misnomer, that they weren't nutcrackers.
Misnomer. That's pretty good. I give Mrs. Lucky a different nutcracker every year for Christmas.
Nice.
Really?
So we have a lot of nutcrackers in our house.
And what do you do with them?
Bring them out on in Christmas season for decorations.
Are they all holiday nutcrackers? No, they don't have to be, right?
Yeah, some of them. I have like the scuba diver nutcracker or the Spanish nutcracker.
So, Mr. Fun, you and I have been to Lucky's house.
Yes.
Dare I say we've been there in the holiday season. I don't recall seeing a nutcracker.
I think I do. Now that when he was saying it, I think I do.
I don't recall seeing what must amount to be 25 of them.
But when you think about it, do you think that's a good spend of $600K?
No.
To build the freaking...
It depends how many people they attract.
That's true. What town is it again?
It's Luverne, Minnesota.
Luverne, Minnesota.
I mean, would you ever go to Luverne, Minnesota if there wasn't a 65-foot nutcracker there? No.
That's probably true, but I'm not sure it's going to draw people outside of the greater Luverne area.
Yeah,
to see the nutcracker.
I'll go.
Really?
So they have 7,554 nutcrackers in the town, and there's only 5,000 residents, and none of the nutcrackers are the same.
But again, those are normal sized nutcrackers.
Well, they could be different size. They could be. Most of them are probably the.
But just use yourself and Mrs. Lucky as you have two people that have 25 nutcrackers.
Yeah.
That a town of 5,000 has 7,000 is actually proportionally lower than in your house.
That's true.
It is. So you're ahead of the curve. You should be going to Luverne, Minnesota to show off all your nutcrackers.
Yeah.
Not everybody is well off in the nutcracker department as Lucky and Mrs. Lucky.
His name is Byrne the Patriot. So in case anybody wants to know. So if you're heading through southwestern Minnesota, I highly encourage you to stop in Luverne and check it out. Okay. I saw this story and I wanted to get your guys' take on this. I mean, we're sort of past the kid birthday parties. All of our kids are old enough now and we're not attending them on a regular basis unless maybe it's like a niece or a nephew or something. But there's a new trend. There was an article in Parents Magazine where they are having birthday parties, elaborate birthday parties, but they're asking guests to contribute to the cost of the birthday party.
In what sense, though? Meaning just to tip the balloon guy?
One invitation that they highlighted in the article was a quote. It said, "If you plan to bring your child and they plan to eat and play, please send along cash with your child for the tip bucket to go towards party expenses." And so I'm like, there's probably a lot of pressure to have the best birthday party. And then the parents, have to stroke the big check, even though, they probably would prefer just to let their kids, play in the pool or, run at the park. But now it's just like there's, keeping up with the Joneses, but the parents can't keep up. So they ask all the other parents to contribute, which I think is total BS.
It'd be like having a regular party. It'd be have a Christmas party at your house. And, say you got to bring money, you got to bring cash.
You don't want to tell your kids you're poor, though.
That says you're poor if you're asking for a tip jar.
Right.
Yeah. What says poor better than that?
Yeah.
I was asked to do a gig at a big birthday party. Lots of kids. And my jokes wander into the risque category at time to time. So I just decided to tell all dad jokes, and they hated it because I didn't realize it was at an orphanage.
Jeez. What about the gift? Like, you also have to bring a gift to the kids' party too. You can't show up empty-handed,
right?
So isn't that enough? Like, those are.
I think so.
You invite 30 kids. That's 30 gifts. That's 30 things you don't have to buy for your kids.
That's the quid pro quo, right? You can't come empty-handed, but in exchange for the gift, in a sense, or for the food, you're getting the gift. That's what it is.
So anyone with young kids who are going to birthday parties these days, contact at laughsmartly.com. Want to know if this is like isolated to certain parts of the country or if this is running rampant. It sounds like it's like sort of going into the category of like tipping the Starbucks person 20%. If I get invited to a birthday party and they ask me for a tip or they make some comment on it, I'm just RSVPing no. I'll send a gift along, but I'm not going to the party. All right. We are big fans of the AI robots and all the different trends going there. We were talking about it probably for the last 2.5 years, AI. So get this. Okay. So everybody's getting ready to go back to school. There is a school district in New York that is it. There's a ton of controversy. They purchased a Realbotix robot and was going to use it for tutoring and teaching kids in the district. They were going to set up a pilot program. Sally, who has blonde hair and is sort of attractive, she'll be able to move her arms and hands, but she has non-working legs. But she is programmed to help with the standard math, social studies, science kinds of things, teach a curriculum. Besides, I think what parents are up in arms for two things. Number one, they're worried about privacy data, like this robot will get too much information on their kid and do what with it? Who knows? If the robot is interacting with different students in these classes. But the other big controversy is that this company, Realbotix, also is one of the biggest manufacturers of the sex robots. So is Sally just a flip of the switch away from being a teacher versus the sex robot that, the whack jobs enjoy? Or is it like if something malfunctions, does she go from teaching science to teaching the birds and the bees? Who knows?
Well, the amount of stories you read about where the teacher has slept with the students, this just seems to play right into that.
Really?
You might as well just make it the sex robot with the students, right?
Well, maybe they don't put everything in there. Like maybe they don't put in a sex drive.
Sex drive. That's good.
I read an interesting AI story the other day, which was a college professor that says they're starting to crack down at AI in college, right? And I saw one story at I think it was Brown University where his class, they were doing kind of remote exams and everybody was passing at a remarkable level. He brought them into the school and their failure rate was huge, like 50%, 60%. But this other one was this guy, I don't know if it was an online test within the class, meaning they were in a auditorium or whatever. But what he did is he planted words and commands into, say, Chat GPT to say, make sure the answer has, I remember one said Madagascar, but what he didn't tell the students was it was in white text. So there was regular black text on white paper. This was white text on a white background. So they didn't know it was there. So any student that used AI, it spit out an answer that only could have come from using AI, because the AI knew they can't differentiate between white text and black text. It's just text to them. So the failure rate was like 35 out of 37 students. They cheated.
How did the professor read the white text on white paper?
No, he set it up, and then he typed it in black on white and then changed it to white text. That's what he did. So you couldn't see it. And then when the students use AI, it spit back an answer that only included the text, or that included text that only AI could have found, because it was in white. And he found everybody was cheating because of AI, which I thought was pretty creative what he did. And because, students don't, they're just using it thinking they're gaming the system. But it's
these days, if a professor can't design testing, quizzing in a way that prevents kids from cheating, they're just lazy.
You heard that whole thing where that one school threw out all the Hispanic kids because they wouldn't turn in their essays.
Jeez.
Well, so also in AI news, one of the big AI companies had their large language model that they were testing. One of the more sophisticated ones got outside of the bounds of what, traversed like the regular internet and started doing damage to other companies.
Yes.
And it like sort of seeped out. So it's like, it's interesting to see all these AI companies, they're grappling with how much control and regulation should come with it. But just so you know, Sally the robot in New York was programmed to steer clear of inappropriate topics such as sex, violence, and gambling. So you don't have to worry about it unless there's a glitch in the system. And then she's talking about her OnlyFans page and all the other things that are going on in her life that aren't appropriate for 11-year-olds.
She has no legs, though. It's going to be difficult for her to transition to anything,
Okay. I saw these, get your take on this. So these two stories are related. Okay. So this was in the New York Times. It was pretty prominently profiled. There was a hiker who trekked 10 miles to safety after impaling himself on one of his walking poles.
Oof.
It went through like his armpit all the way through his back. And because he didn't want to be airlifted off of the mountain and incur the major costs, he hiked back down to like regular level so that he can go to a hospital. But it was like he went 10 miles just to avoid the big bill.
That seems. Yeah. If that had happened to you or any of us, do you think you'd have the fortitude to do that? Set aside the medical bill thing, but you had to walk 10 miles with a pole sticking through your body. Do you think you'd be able to do it?
I'd walk 10 miles without a pole sticking out of my body.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be like, go on without me. And I would just like lay down and ride the pain.
It was better that he was a hiker than a stripper, though, because a stripper needs to stay off the pole. There's a joke there somewhere about the pole.
Okay. And then this related story, Middletown, New York. Big, there's a lot of circuses and carnivals going on now in the summer. So circus performer accidentally shot in neck with arrow at the county fair. Accidentally shot in the neck by an arrow during a performance at a county fair, upstate New York, Middletown, New York is what it was. This married couple had been performing their crossbow sharpshooting act when she accidentally struck him in the neck with an arrow as he held up a foam target. Can you imagine?
What if they were their relationship had gone sour, right? Isn't that the perfect? She's been playing the long game.
Yeah.
She shot him in the neck and it's like, accident of the job. Maybe she wanted to get rid of.
Should they have, for the performance, should they have taken the arrowheads off or would that be pointless?
Yeah. The circus returned to its regular schedule of 3 shows a day on Saturday, minus the crossbow act.
Okay. Yeah. Like sometimes I realize that when I listen to the show sometimes that Mr. Fun will tell a joke and we'll just move on. And then it's very funny when you listen to it back to the show. And I'm not sure you got the joke he just said. Maybe you did.
I just did.
Oh, okay. But you just got to went right by it. You just sort of.
You want me to bring my fake laugh out every time Mr. Fun tells a joke?
No, but that was maybe my only funny joke of this episode.
I think they're great jokes. No, okay, it sounds like you need a little feedback every time the joke comes. I'll give you a little
I'm
snippet.
just insecure.
Either before I will say.
It was funny.
Sad life as a comic. Sad life.
No, I like your jokes. I think they augment the story.
So since he does need to have the mic, why don't Mr. Fun's got a provocative question? Why don't we? What is that for us this week?
Well, I thought it would be fun. Okay, if you put on on your social media right now, Facebook, Instagram, if you said, "Listen, I can't tell you why, but I need all my friends to send me $1 immediately," what do you think you could buy? What do you think you could buy?
Well,
in other words, how many dollars would be sent to you?
Well, it obviously depends on how many friends you have. Well, we're gonna have to point to you, Mr. Fun, first, because you've got thousands of connections on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm correct?
Yeah.
So if you've got 5,000 connections, what do you think your number is? What do you think you get?
If I put that out,
right?
I'd get $1,000.
So you're saying 25%, right?
Yeah, I would get
20%. You get 20%.
Yeah.
I've got 1,500 connections on LinkedIn. If I put that out there for $1, I don't think I get $100. That's just my view. Lucky?
Well, okay. What would be the plea? Like, I need the money.
That's it.
That's it. You can't say what it's.
I can't answer any questions. I just really need you guys to send me $1.
Wow. I have 824 friends on Facebook.
Okay.
I think I could probably get knowing that it's probably some gimmick or some trick that we're doing for the show. Maybe 200.
Okay.
20%.
So he's at 25%. I was at less than 10%. And Mr. Fun was at 20%. So yeah, it's an interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm undercalling it, and it's $1. And if it doesn't take much effort to send it, that's the other part of it, right?
Click here to send me
click here. It's a Venmo. It's a pay. It's something like that, where it's a no real effort to do it.
See, I think people who know me would think Mr. Fun needs $1. I think with you guys, they wouldn't send you $1. They'd be like, "This is a joke. He doesn't need $1."
If they really knew you, they would be like, "That cheap MFer.
He doesn't need any money.
That frugal MFer doesn't need my $1."
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's part of it. I'd like to know. Do me a favor, if you feel compelled to do it, would you send me $1? The people on this show, if I did that, would you send me $1?
Okay, let's turn it on its head.
I won't ask you.
No, but yeah, so let's turn it on its head. If you were asked by somebody, would you do it?
Depends on the person. It depends on the person.
And by that you mean it's got to be somebody that you're very close with,
and that I know could use the money.
Okay, $1. It's not like
I don't think I'd send $1 to a rich guy.
Okay, well that's an interesting debate though.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that you can make the judgment on who has money or doesn't have money.
Not so much that. Just I've had it. I've had it last. Lots of people over the years ask me for money. And I think that's a hardworking person. That's really, I'm going to give them some money.
But $1 isn't, in rare instances,
I know.
Is not going to make or break.
Frugal, which is a generous way of saying I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I think any money at all, I think I wouldn't just throw money at anybody.
Would you, Lucky, give $1 to somebody?
Yeah, I probably would. Just as a gimmick. Like, be part of seeing this person try to get to a certain milestone. I would probably do it.
And I'm going to ask you for $1.
I'm not suggesting I wouldn't give the $1, because I mean, part of me says that if they're a savvy person and maybe they've got some business model where all of a sudden they're going to come back and say, "Hey, all of you that gave $1, you now have 1/100th of a % of my company." I'm just throwing a wild thing out there, and especially if I do it on something like LinkedIn. I don't know. Maybe there could be worse.
All right, me too. I'll give everybody $1.
My youngest daughter.
I don't want to be the only one who says no.
My youngest daughter is probably 100%. When she goes back to school, she sends out, we have a extended family group chat, and she's like, "Buy me a drink on my first day back at school." And all the relatives are, Venmoing her $7.50.
Wow.
Well, that's a good idea. A good creative way to do it. So, Mr. Fun, believe it or not, we get to the time of the show where we have to hear jokes that aren't pointless.
Okay, I got to tell you a funny story. That if you guys appreciate it, I got to incorporate this in my routine.
Sure.
So comics see normal stuff and they make it funny. It's like a hidden gene, I think. So here's an example. I'm getting coffee today. I wrote this down because I don't want to forget anything. I'm getting coffee and I go to pay, and the cute little barista, who I would say was hot, but that would be perverted because she was like 19. She says, you can tap it. And I laugh inside when she says you could tap it. She's probably said that 100 times today, and nobody thought it was weird. But I say, I'm afraid I'm too old to tap it. And I laugh inside to myself. And then she says, it's not that hard. And I say, maybe I'm just overthinking it. And then she says, you just hold it by the tip and move it back and forth. And then I start thinking, wait, maybe she's the funny one. Maybe she's the funny one and she's playing me. She's messing with me. And then I turn around and there's this woman who instantly reminds me of my wife when I see her. And she says, can you hurry up? I have things to do. And I say, that is my wife, probably. And I give the lady a $3 tip and I hit the smiley face and walk out. That's my funny story for the day. There's something there that's ridiculous. And I think that 19-year-old girl is the funniest person I know, or I am the creepiest man in the whole world.
Or she wants you to tap it.
There's no way she wants me to tap.
You never know.
She just wanted me to pay for the coffee.
She's got a thing for comedians.
So that really happened. Oh, that's cool. That's a good story, actually. There is definitely something there you can turn into a part of a stand-up thing. So more power to you. So, Lucky, how do they get a hold of us?
contact@laughsmartly.com. Love the emails. Rockfish, thank you so much for your emails. I didn't respond to you, but I did read them. I'll hit you back in a couple days.
So speaking of superfan, Monty W. Came back to me where I apparently talked about Little House on the Prairie, and I conflated Melissa Gilbert and Melissa Sue Anderson, apparently two actresses from the original show. So that was a correction. So thank you, Monty W., for continuing to listen. I do want to give a shout out. I mentioned Ann G. from Potomac. Saw Dennis C. and Caroline C. from Bethesda. Shout out to them. Dennis is a big listener to the show as he commutes back and forth, as he says, like an hour and 20 minutes each day from Potomac to Lorton, Virginia. It's got to be the worst commute in the DMV area. So again, thank you all for listening to us as you do. So with that, listen to us on WGMD's 98.5, the Talk of Delmarva, Saturdays at 10 and Sundays at 3 p.m. And also catch us on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, share. Everybody, please share and do the same on all the podcast platforms. So good to see you guys. Until we do it again next week, let me thank everybody for listening, and we'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.
Laugh Smartly is a production of Laugh Smartly Industries. Please subscribe, like, and share wherever you listen and watch us. And we'd love to hear from you, so email us at contact@laughsmartly.com. Thank you again for listening.